let's get into my Kanye West Vultures 1 review. Now, I was trying to figure out a system of how to review this album, these albums that I'm going to be reviewing as time goes on. Every album that comes out this year, I'm going to try to review every hip-hop album. I'm going to try. I still got the 21 Savage one to review, Benny the Butcher, Kevin Gates. I will be reviewing. The next one I'm going to be reviewing is 21 Savage, then the next one, Kevin Gates, then the next one, Benny the Butcher. And then I think there's more albums coming out. Obviously, Schoolboy Q and so on and so forth. It's going to be people dropping albums left and right. So let's go over this Vultures one. I have a system where I'm going to be grading it, kind of. So there's going to be the good songs, there's going to be the bad songs, and then there's going to be the neutral ones. Neutral is me saying that it's a good track, but it also has bad elements, and I don't know. I might end up changing my mind if it's a good or bad track. I know it's not the best thing to kind of have for a review is to be in the neutral, but these are tracks that I love parts of it, but then I don't know if I'm going to like it because of a verse, because of a sample, because of this, because of that. But overall, it's leaning towards the good side. So these neutral ones mainly lead towards the good side. So let's go over it. I'm going to go track by track, and then I'm going to give you guys my overall review of the album. So Vultures 1 dropped February 10th. It has 16 total tracks. Features from Rich the Kid, Playboi Carti, Quavo, Lil Durk, his daughter, Donda West. Lots of different features, right? So let's go over the intro track, Stars. And this is what I had to say about Stars. So I put it on the good tracks list. I loved it. Very simple track. Enjoyed it. Very smooth. I don't really know what more to say about it. I loved whatever samples that Kanye be using. I don't know all these fucking samples that Kanye uses. I'm not I'm not the best with my words, guys, when I'm reviewing albums. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I'm not gonna say all these symphonies and drums and these percussions and all this stuff. I don't know all that shit. All right, I'm not a musician, but what I can say, it's a very simple track that is a great intro, and I liked it, man. I enjoyed it. Very, very, very great record. Short in its own sense, but it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I put it on the good tracks list. Keys to My Life. This is on my neutral list. I don't know. I go back and forth on it. I think it had its own things that was good about it, but then, I don't know. This is a really, really neutral track. It's not even good or bad in my eyes. It's just like, I'm kind of, might be on my bad list, honestly, but it's all right. It's an all right of a track. I didn't really find too much time listening to it or really enjoying it. Third track, Paid. This is actually one of the first bad tracks. Very simple track with simple bars with a repetitive ass hook that actually, now think about this. I'm not a fan of Ty Dolla $ign, right? Going into this album, not being a fan of Ty Dolla $ign already puts it at a negative view on my end. But Kanye is such a great musician, great artist, genius in what he does, that he can make me like Ty Dolla $ign at certain points. And on this Paid track, he does make me like Ty Dolla $ign on the hook. Even though it's a repetitive, it's just it's a melodic hook that I can repeat, to myself, and I like the way it flows. It's very good. I'm just here to get paid. It's a very repetitive, very simple hook, but other than that, it's got nothing to offer. I mean, a lot of this album has a lot of bars about, ass, pussy, this, I fuck this girl. Like, it's the same shit with the female rappers where they're talking about men and this and that. I'm tired of just the sex talk 24/7. Kanye's gone through a lot, and he could have used a lot of these tracks or a lot of parts on this album to really touch on a lot of deeper things. So it disappointed me on that aspect of, like, come with me, I got the booze and that drip misting, like, cut walk and the cost is 15, little flew past too fast, old stomach to the new ass, you can't afford you, that's too bad. Like, it was all right, man. This record, yeah, it's on my bad list. It's the first track on my bad list. Next, Talking. 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 I actually love this record. Northwest killed it. Shout out to Northwest. She, I think, is the better out of Jay-Z's daughter and Drake's son in anything music that they've done. She is actually musically inclined. I think she can be talented if she actually puts her focus on it. She killed it. She did her thing. I really enjoyed her part. And then Dolla ign and Kanye did their thing as well. I love the talking, whatever sample, whatever the hell that's from. Very, very well done. It's on my good track list. Don't try to test it. It's going to get messy. So shout out to North, man. Killed it. Kanye did his thing too. And I like once again, the clouds are gathering to release what they held in. I love that, man. It's repeated throughout the track. Very, very well executed. So definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album. Back to Me. Beautiful big titty butt naked women don't just fall off the sky, it's been stuck in my head, man. The track overall, I think, is very well executed. The only complaint I have is when Kanye's saying the beautiful big titty butt naked women, like that whole part that he's saying it, he repeats it so much and it's so long throughout the track. That's the only thing I dislike. That if I had Kanye change something, I'd be like shorten it up a little bit because it's too long. Or make it a hook where it's consistently repeated. I think that he missed the boat on that, but I can kind of see why. Let's keep zoning, let's keep flowing, that's a great chorus by Dolla ign. But beautiful big titty but naked women don't just fly off the sky, Yeah, I keep saying that. Freddie Gibbs, I gotta round of applause for Freddie Gibbs, man. He flowed on this bitch so well. Freddie basically saved this fucking track so much that if it was just this big, beautiful, big titty button, I would have been like, this shit's garbage. But the fact that it's coupled with that, and then you got Freddie Gibbs just rapping his ass off with amazing production behind him, I was really happy with the record, man. At that point, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is probably one of the best tracks on the album, in my opinion. But yeah, shout out to Back to Me with Freddie Gibbs. Even Quavo was on a little bit of the chorus. But yeah. Hood Rat. I hate this track. Repeated chorus or whatever the fuck it is. Constantly repeated. It drowns the record, the Hood Rat stuff. Not a fan of this track at all. It's arguably one of the worst tracks. Verses are letdowns. I think verse 2 from Ye should have been more used. The flow and the style should have been more used on the track. But the Hood Rat repetitiveness was just drowning the track overall. Wasn't happy with Dolla ign's performance. Production was all right. It's probably the worst track on the album is the Hood Rat record, in my opinion. So that's where I stand with that. Do It. This track features Nipsey Hussle and YG. I love this track. To me is neutral. I'm more on it's a better side of the track, but here's my issue with it. It starts out with Nipsey, which shout out to Kanye for featuring Nipsey on this. He starts it out, and then the way it transitions to Dolla ign is very, very dope. That's probably my favorite part about this track. But, and I know people are probably going to, this is just my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of YG. I felt he ruined the track. I'm not a huge fan of YG at all. I think as time gone on, his music's been pretty subpar. I liked him when he first came out with My Crazy Life, his debut album. And then as time went on, his music to me got worse and worse. And I just kind of stopped really listening to him. I think his music, him being on this should have not happened. But with Nipsey being on it, YG being close to Nipsey, too much of Dolla ign on this track, by the way, too. Not much of Kanye. And like I said, not a fan of YG. So this track, the more that I think about it, the more I'm probably on the bad track side. But because I like Nipsey Hussle so much, it's kind of more on my neutral side because I have a little bias towards Nipsey when it comes to this track. But yeah, that's my thought on Do It. Track number 8, Paperwork. This track I had on my good tracks featuring Quavo. I love the production. Each artist did their fucking thing on it. Quavo did his thing too. And there's a rumored Lil Wayne version of it that I would have loved to hear. I felt like he would have fit perfectly with the production of this track. I really enjoyed this track. It's something that I went back to quite frequently. So that's definitely on my good track list. Track number 9, Burn. This track is on my neutral list. It's an all right track. I like the track because of the R. Kelly line where he says, at the end, he ends off the verse saying, "Man, the world gone mad, heard R. Kelly in the next Balenciaga ad." The reason why I like this is because Balenciaga used children in a sexual nature. And people forget that. It's going over people's heads. People are still wearing Balenciaga. And a lot of this fashion, products do that, unfortunately, very subliminally. And I like the way that Kanye kind of, threw that out there and exposed that back to people's memory and reminded them again. And using R. Kelly to kind of get at R. Kelly while getting at Balenciaga was very well done. But overall, the track is just, it's all right. It's in the neutral for me, like I said. It's not nothing that I was like, wow, this is amazing. But it's nothing that like I think is bad. So over time, maybe it'll grow on me. Number 10, Fuck Something. This track was in my bad tracks. It features Playboi Carti. I'm not a fan of Playboi Carti. No, he didn't do this album justice. I can't get into Playboi Carti. Never could, never would. He sucked completely. Production is subpar. Very repetitive lyrics. And then that chipmunk sound effect that Kanye used for his part ruined just the vibe of things. I wasn't a fan of the track at all. So that track was in my bad tracks list. Vultures, track number 11. This track to me, when it first came out, I enjoyed it. But then, I think what made me like this track a lot is because Lil Durk murked it. And I think Lil Durk, that type of production for Lil Durk from Kanye could make one of the best Lil Durk albums of all time. Because Lil Durk has that ability. I just wish Kanye would take a lot of his production and just focus it on another artist. That'd be really dope. Because Kanye on himself does really well, but imagine Lil Durk with that type of production, with Kanye's type of ear. I think it'd be really dope. So that's why for me the track is in the neutral. It's not really a good and a bad track. It's right in the middle to me because Lil Durk kind of really carried it for me. I love the production. I think it's perfect. Ye did a pretty good job on his verse as well. So Bump J, it's all right. So that's my kind of take on that, neutral on that. Ride dig like a carnival. This track is hilarious, but it's genius. And I had this track on neutral. I wanted to put it on the good track side, but there's a few things that stop me. The production is amazing. The background, like, bro, Kanye, like, this just shows Kanye's genius because this guy literally took the choir that's singing that. He took it from something that was a special Inter Milan football club that sing it. He brought them all in the studio and made them sing that part. She ride a day like carnival, whatever the fuck they're saying. Fucking like perfection. Only Kanye's mind can think of something like this to put into a track. This is why Kanye is viewed as a genius, because of this. It's perfection. But wasn't a fan of Playboi Carti on it. Wasn't a fan of Rich Kid's verse on it. But once again, there's another but. When I listen to it in the car, it has a whole different vibe to it. So I think it depends on where I'm at when I'm listening to this track. That's why it's in the neutral for me. I don't really think of it as a bad track or a really good track. It depends on the vibe I'm in and where I'm at. So that's why it's really neutral for me. I think the hook overall, you should have just kept it as the intro. When the intro starts out, the people, like, they should have kept repeating that as the hook and made it a little bit better. Instead, they added, I think, Ty Dolla Sign over it, or Rich the Kid or something like that. Let me go over the lyrics here so I know exactly. So go ahead, so good, she on a roll. She ride a dig like carnival. That part, the first intro, should have been kept as a hook. I know they said the same thing on the hook, but they had Rich the Kid with the choir, Ty Dolla Sign, and Playboi Carti on the hook added with the choir. I would just like it to be just the choir. I think it was perfect like that. But other than that, Kanye's verse on this, he started it out really good, but then it ended off in a really bad way. Kanye has these moments where his verses start really good and then it just falls off with some stupid shit. I like how he started out that Game of Thrones, Yeezy not the clones, Eli, where my rocket ship, it's time to go home. They served us the porn since the day we was born. Anybody pissed off, got to make him drink the urine. But then he said, and this is where like it just goes off, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Now I'm Ye Kelly, bitch. Now I'm Bill Cosby, bitch. Now I'm Puff Daddy Rich. That's Me Too Rich. And then this is where he gets to like the female sucking dick. It's like every verse is this, like sucking dick, female this, female that, pussy this, pussy that. I'm tired of it. Kanye's got so much more substance to him. He's proved it with millions of albums that I feel like he's just throwing it there. He doesn't have anything to talk about. But I'm like, dude, you've been through so much shit. Please add more substance to your stuff. I get the Ye Kelly and all this Bill Cosby stuff. He's saying basically I'm uncancelable. Like I can be put next to all these people and nobody's gonna cancel me still. But then when he says why she say she sucked my dick, then she say she ain't sucked my dick. She's gonna take it up the ass like a ventriloquist. Like, since Taylor Swift, since I had the rollie on the wrist, I'm the new Jesus, bitch. I turn water to Chris. Like, I don't like that. I don't like the Jesus talk, him thinking he's God and all this. This is where like the verse falls off, and I'm not really fucking with it. He started out strong, but other than that, this is why it's really neutral for me on this track. But I think he missed the boat on potentially making this a track that could be used across soccer stadiums or football stadiums, whatever. If you're in Europe or overseas, you call it football. Here in America, we call it soccer. But having this song be used as a soccer anthem, that could have potentially happened had the lyrics been changed up. But that choir being in there, go with the beat, oh my God, he could have turned this into a soccer anthem, something really big. But I think he missed the boat on that. But Kanye has his own vision for things, so I can't really knock it. I just don't like the sexual talk always. And then Playboi Carti and Rich the Kid, they're all right, man. The Dolla ign did his thing all right. So that's why it's neutral with me on that track. Continuing on, Beg Forgiveness. This track added on the bad tracks. I think he missed the opportunity on this track just to speak on how he really feels about things, with the whole forgiveness thing. Maybe, he spills his heart out about, all the things he's talked about that people have scolded him for, but he missed the boat on that. It's a very, track that I just skipped by. I didn't really care too much. I never listened to it back again. I listened to it probably 2 or 3 times when I was going over the album, but other than that, never went back to it. Track number 14, which is, let me see, it's that Good song that got removed. This track I love, The Good Don't Die. This song ended up getting removed from streaming platforms because Donna Summer's estate never got the sample clearance approved. They never approved it, so it got removed. The song is very well executed with a positive message that's going to impact people, and it already did. There was somebody that released a story about, like, I was going to do something, and then I didn't do it, like suicidal, like I was figuring out my life. It's already impacting people's lives. So that's what I like about this track. It's unfortunate it's been removed off the album. Hopefully you can figure out the clearance issues. But, got my heart and eyes, don't die, I'm alive. Just one more time, don't die. So it's positive messages. I love it. Overall, great track, man. So I put it on the good list. Next track, Problematic. This is another good track. I think the production is insane. And the trumpets that come in towards the end, like in the middle of the track, I love, perfectly executed. Such a fire touch. And the Kanye snaps on his verse. I really enjoyed Kanye's verse, the way he flowed over it. Production just nailed it. Dolla ign compliments Kanye on this track a lot, which I really enjoyed. He didn't get in the way. I felt like I'm not a fan of Dolla ign. So a lot of these times when I heard him, I was like, like kind of gets in the way of things. He doesn't really add too much in my opinion, but Kanye can kind of adjust my thoughts on Dolla ign, which he did. I actually appreciated Dolla ign more than I thought I would throughout this album. So he complimented Ye on this track very well. So Problematic is on my good tracks list. And then King is another track that was in my bad tracks list. He also could have used this track to speak on more what he's going through. The verses were subpar. It's Kanye with this kind of godlike complex saying that I can't be canceled, which should have been something that he should have spoke on the verses more. He did speak on it a little bit, but then, it starts to girls sucking him off. He says, way she sucked me off, I could be paying for more. How that's Dolla ign's part. But he says, addicted to my bitch because she acting like a slut. Bring 4 sluts right now. Shut the hell up before you get exiled. And I'm still blah, blah, blah. So it just goes into this, like, I think he just missed on a lot of this stuff, man. Yeah, it is what it is on this track. It wasn't really anything impactful or something that I really, really like to listen to. But that's my review of the album. Let's go over what it is. So I have 6 good tracks, which is Stars, Talking with Northwest, Back to Me with Freddie Gibbs, Paperwork with Quavo, and then Good Don't Die, as well as Problematic. So those are the 6 good tracks I have on this album. Bad tracks is Paid, Hood Rat, Fuck Something with Playboi Carti and Dolla ign, Beg Forgiveness, and King. Those are the bad tracks that I never went back to, that I really don't give 2 fucks about. And then these are the neutral tracks, which I've been flip-flopping. Keys to My Life, Do It with Nipsey Hussle and YG, Burn, Vultures with Lil Durk and Bump J, and Carnival with Playboi Carti and Rich the Kid. So that's 6 good tracks, 5 bad tracks, and then 5 neutral tracks. And if you look at the neutral tracks, you can put some of them in bad, some of them in the good. So overall, my rating for this album, 6.5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10 would have been right in the middle, neutral, where it's not a good album, it's not a bad album. A 6 to a 7, it means it's a good album. Not great, but good. And then 8 to 9 is a great album, and then obviously 10 out of 10 is classic. Anything below a 5 is just a bad album. So it's in the good category for me. It's a good album. It's not better than Donda 2, in my opinion. I think Donda 2 is better. I think Donda is better. So we'll see. It's the first installment to apparently a 3-part series. So, you know, maybe it'll get better from here. I don't know. Usually sequels for Kanye sometimes don't get better. But to me, I like Donda 2 more than Donda. So, you know, that's, you know, other people's opinion on how they feel about that. But 6.5 out of 10. I think that's a pretty good rating for Vultures 1. Especially considering the fact that I don't like Ty Dolla Sign music that much. And then you got Playboi Carti, which I don't like. And then you got Travis Scott, which I don't like. Travis Scott, I'm iffy. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. And then you got, you know, Rich Kid or whatever the fuck. I don't know how he ended up on this album, but whatever. Shout out to him. No disrespect there. But yeah, that's how I feel about the album. 6.5 out of 10. And let me know what you guys think of the rating system, man. I'm trying to come up with a system. I think this is good. I think I'm going to switch the neutral tracks, and I just going to have to decide, maybe. Or I might just keep the neutral tracks. I think that's a good little touch where I can flip-flop because people watch my videos, right? And years down the line, they'll mention what I said in a lot of these reviews and stuff. Granted, years down the line, my mind changes. So a lot of these 5 neutral tracks, some might be in the bad, some might be in the good. But this is where I'm at with it. I think Carnival is on the good tracks part, but it's depending on where I'm listening to the track, like I said. And then you got Vultures. It leans sometimes on my bad, sometimes on the good. Then you got Burn. It's in the middle for me. I don't know. That's more maybe on the bad side. Do It with Nipsey and YG's maybe more on the bad side. Keys to My Life maybe more on the bad side. So, you know, that's where I'm at with the 6.5 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoy the review finally after I've said it 90 million times that I'm going to review the album. So that's where I'm at with it.